What's up, Bobby?
What's good?
Just for you, I think it was 20-10 through three quarters. In that third quarter, you're able to get a couple offensive rebounds, big block, kind of get the crowd growing. Just what'd you see in that third quarter?
Man, we just came out with a sense of urgency. Got down big in the second quarter. It was a weird first half, to be honest. We get up, should have felt like we should have been up more after the first quarter. We missed a lot of shots that normally go in. Went up 12 points, and then it was weird. And then, obviously in halftime, it's all about adjustments and, and things like that. So come out with a sense of urgency. 34 did his thing, really put his head down, went to the rim, and, he propelled that for us. But, just the energy that we played with, the togetherness, the moving the ball, getting everybody involved, moving it side to side, getting the defense moving. I think that worked for us in the third quarter. And, fourth quarter was all about defense, getting stops, rebounding the basketball, and pushing it in transition.
Any night you give up 99 in the current NBA is a good night defensively.
Sure.
But Bud kind of mentioned that he thought first quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, good. Second quarter, you guys kind of lost your way. What kind of happened in that second quarter that did end up happening?
I mean, it's the NBA, man. People going to make shots. They got great players. They got Hall of Famers on their side. Obviously, can't just stop people every quarter. So, obviously, it's going to be some slippage. But for the most part, I think we did our thing. So, obviously, we got a lot to clean up in that second quarter. Pretty sure it'll be a lot of film and, things like that, particularly on the second quarter. We can learn from it a lot. So sometimes it's good just to, it's early on the season. We can learn from that second quarter and see what we did bad in that second quarter, try to clean it up for the next game.
Bud was saying he's not quite sure where you all would have been at the break without your play in the first half. So you mean you're the only player getting things going. What are you aware of that, I guess, when the shots aren't going in and a lot of shots weren't going in to try to, it's not an energy thing, but you actually need to score and rebound. Were you aware of that at all in that kind of space to do that?
I'm not even gonna lie, over my career, I just found a knack for observing how the game's being played and kind of like that, just being able to sit and see how the defense is playing, the bigs, and if they're switching 1 through 5, whatever it is, and how I can come in and try to make an impact. So obviously it's cool to sit over there and watch the first 5, 6, 7 minutes. And then when I go in the game, I know exactly what I need to do to try to help the basketball team. Obviously you can't really say that you're going to make shots when you go in. I mean, that's one thing that, shots are going to go in and shots are going to be missed. Can't do that, but I just try to play as hard as I can, get some offensive rebound, energy plays, and get the crowd involved, whatever it is, just try to help the team. So not trying to say I'm going to come in and score like that every time. That's probably not going to happen. But, obviously I just try to come in and play my role as best as I can, take the shots that's given to me, shoot it with confidence. And, like Coach say, just let it fly.
You mentioned a little bit there, the fourth quarter defense. Not that defense turned into offense necessarily, like transition points or anything, but they went minutes without scoring. And even if it was just a bucket or two for you all to build that lead, just what was working? What did it feel like defensively there in the fourth?
Just talking, knowing our coverages, obviously trying to be attached as one on defense, moving our feet. Everybody just, obviously defense comes down to talking. Brooke does a hell of a job of being in center and talking to everybody. He told me, get out, he'll be the center and he'll be the MIG and things like that. So, obviously we have guys that talk and interact, and that's what defense is all about, being on one accord and being on one string. When someone breaks down, someone helps that guy, and the other guy helps the guy that's helping the guy that got broke down. So, and I think we were all on one page, and getting key stops. Obviously, rebounding the basketball is big when you can rebound and in the possession.
Speaking of Brooke, he had 11 blocks last 2 games, 6 tonight. I mean, what infusion has he been for you guys just in the post, just with that rim protection this season?
Man, he's a hell of a, defensive player, hell of a player overall. Just, the way he talks and communicates, being in that drop that he plays, guys have to come to him, and we trust that. So, He walls up, goes 2 hands up. He rarely fouls anybody when they come to the hole. He just goes up. If they make it, they make it. We get back on defense. We live with him challenging those shots. So, he's a great guy, great basketball player. And, for guys that's watching, that's not an easy thing to do, to go 2 hands up and not hunch over. I said it earlier in the week. That's hard when you can put your hands up and not foul like that. I know it looks easy. He makes it look easy, but it's not an easy thing to do.
Hey, Bobby, we all know how special a talent Giannis is, but when he goes from 9 points in the first half to scoring 43 and flipping a switch like that, what is it like watching that, and how do you guys feed off of that?
Obviously he's a hell of a player, dynamic player that can rebound the basketball, push in the transition and go coast to coast and things like that. But just his selflessness, man, not pouting, keep shooting the basketball. The guy will, airball a 3 and then come back down and charge at you and get an and 1. And then, it's just crazy just to watch his progression and things like that. And, not being able to shoot those shots. That's the biggest thing, man. Being given space and things like that, can knock the 3 down. He hit a, catch and shoot 3 tonight. That was, great as well. So his game is evolving and growing. And I think we're growing with him, knowing the spots that he wants the ball at, knowing where, we can play off him at in the post and things like that. It makes all of us better. I think when you have stars like that, it just brings the team up with them.
Y'all went on a little run immediately after Steve Nash's ejection. I was just wondering what kind of impact you think that moment had on both teams, and if it had any impact on the outcome there.
I don't think it had any impact on us. I think we were rolling and we were still, playing our style of basketball. Can't say anything about them. I don't know what they talked about and what their huddle went through and all that. I noticed that. All I know is that we were locked in, on our game plan and on our assignment, just trying to get better each and every day. That's our biggest thing. I think everybody comes up here and says it's just building good habits. All we try to do wasn't really worry about what they had going on. We were just worrying about, ourselves and holding each other accountable. No problem.
8-minute defensive effort. I think 18% from 3 in the first half. Didn't make a whole lot of shots the first half either, but to kind of stay connected and then obviously to pull ahead.
Yeah, if I was being critical or honest, I think the second quarter we were pretty poor defensively, but the other 3 quarters made up for that, lapse in the second quarter. These guys are so hard to guard. A ton of respect for them, the individual talent with Durant and Irving. So a lot of credit. Our guys are going to be tired tonight, sore. They laid it all out there for 4 quarters, and so impressive defensive effort.
Just what you saw from Giannis, 9 points in the first half, I think 34 in the second. Just the way the tenacity and mentality he had coming into the second half of that game.
Yeah, that's vintage Giannis. That's probably about the best. He's had a lot of great performances tonight. That second half he did everything. He was phenomenal. So, I think we had a really poor second quarter. And he came out with a force and a determination to put us in the right place. We really, I think, offensively needed it from him tonight. He drove, attacked, found seams. I thought we moved the ball a little bit more, had a little bit better spacing for him. It's hard to put the right words on how good he was in the second half.
He's been getting better at it for a while, but it feels like this year there's been a lot of finishes high off glass, being able to finish through contact with a softer touch. Just what have you seen from him maybe in that regard this year?
Yeah, no, I think, he works on it. I think there's just adding layers to his finishing game. Obviously, he's got a ton of power. He's got a ton of, finishing, with dunks and everything. But I think, when he adds the touch, he adds those, can, I think, maybe get some more and ones. And I think, gives the defense another thing that they got to think about and consider. And, it's been impressive how he's finished. And he's had a couple, I think he probably thinks he should have made, even more. So it's he's very, very good in the paint. He's adding layers to his game and adding ways to finish.
In the same way that we've been talking about how dominant he is in these first couple of games, we've been talking about Brook at the rim and kind of what he's been able to do. Just how much has he meant to you guys here in the early going?
Yeah, I think they have him for 6 blocks tonight. I mean, he's really changing the game in the paint. We've asked him, I think, to do even more this year. He's embraced it. So it's a credit to him. He's got very just great feel and timing, for where to be and how to contest and block shots and still rebound. And he's been really good for us defensively.
Coach, how much do you think the guys buy in on the collective effort when guarding superstars like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving? I mean, Wesley had reps on KD. Obviously, Drew started on him, but then, Javon was on Kyrie. George was on Kyrie. The collective effort defensively.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we got a lot of, guys that we feel are, really, really high level defenders. Hopefully we can throw different bodies at, these great players in the league. Just, I don't know, just try and make them have to work and see different people. Every guy that guards them is maybe just a little bit different, not necessarily by teaching or scheme. They're just all a little bit different, a little bit unique, and keep them guys hopefully thinking and wondering. And the effort it takes on those two is you got to be high level.
And one more on Giannis. What does it take for players first half or first quarter not to dictate the rest of the game? I mean, Steve brought up, what Giannis did in the first half compared to the second.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's a sign of maturity, a sign of, growth that, as a team, we didn't have a great second quarter. We were able to come back from it. Giannis individually, whether it's the first quarter or, if he has a few possessions that could be better, either defensively or offensively, he doesn't let him get him down. I think it fuels him to be better. And that's the sign of, the greatness that he has.
Not that Brooklyn shot it well at all from three. Royce O'Neal kind of shook loose a little there in the first half, but they only made one in the second half. I think Kyrie and Kevin 1 for 10. Just again, I know it's an emphasis, but I guess what have you felt about the guys actually implementing that emphasis these first 3 games and the fact that it's paid off to the degree that it has?
Yeah. Hopefully we're getting a little bit better. It feels like there's lots of work when we watch film. There's areas where we can improve, and so it's a work in progress. We just got to stay focused. I'm sure there's going to be bumps in the road. But the guys are locked in. They're trying to execute for us defensively.
When it was kind of slow going offensively in the first half, how much did you guys need Bobby's energy and his ability to put the basket in to kind of get you guys rolling there?
Yeah, great. I think he had 16 at halftime, and without him, I don't know where we would have been in the first half. And so his shot making, really helped us. Felt like we should have been up to 10 or more in the first quarter, and then we were down 12, and it was a weird first half. But Bobby, was huge for us and kept us kind of, if 12 is in touch or 10 is in touch, without him, we would have been in big trouble in the first half. All right. Thank you, guys.